My 2 cent. My name is Paul Emerson, and I'll be giving you my 2 cent. Runday. There's a couple videos before this video of me screaming and yelling at a police car or security guard or whoever that approached me. Let me give you some better context. This is what I wake up to every day. Because at the end of the day, nobody really cares about anything that happens to you individually. No one gives a damn about us in this world. And what's going on in my life is I'm staying in my car that I had to purchase when I got to Florida. I'm attending Full Sail University. African American. Basically, what happens is that the school has a policy, well, life has a policy against you being homeless. And so, like as you can see, right, like there's just, well, anyway, I'm not gonna get distracted. So basically, this is what's going on. So all my life, I've pretty much wanted to design video games and produce comics. From a kid, and it's what I enjoyed doing, and growing up, that's what I had wanted to do in life. The problem is that society has designs put in place to force you to be something that you don't want to be. So not everybody is going to get the opportunity to be the thing they want to be in this world by design, not by anything other than just our ancestors decided that's how things are going to be for the next generation. I I wind up having to pay child support from doing nothing but simply being a human being. I had sex with a girl, I got that girl pregnant, and now I had to spend the last 18 years of my life paying child support. The world always tries to make it seem like everything that you do is your fault and that you are guilty for everything that you do based on principles of Christianity or Islam. These religions teach you how the adversities of your life are the direct result of the decisions that you have made to get you where you are. So I'm living in this car, attending the school that I want to go to, trying my hardest at the age of 41 to keep my grades up and pass so that I can become a video game designer like I wanted to when I was 19. All of the people in my life, see, it's easy for the world to say that the problem that you have in your life is your inability to do the things that you're supposed to do to get where you want to be in life. But the vast majority of the people in this world have adversities that hold them back that are beyond their ability to comprehend or understand. We call that existentialism. We call that energy of what am I doing? Why am I here? How do I make it in this world? Why do I have to be a lawyer? Why can't I just tap dance on the street and be able to make enough money to provide for myself? Why do I have to engage in all of these things that I don't want to engage in and be this person that I don't want to be just to not have enough to function on a day-to-day basis? Right? That energy is the foundation of why I started my 2 cent. Because at a very young age, I have dealt with the fact that I try really hard to be as humble as I possibly can be in life because it is truly the way forward. I try really hard not to be an asshole. I try really hard not to look at the people around me and acknowledge the fact that they're fucking stupid and that the problems that I have are these dumbass people around me. I don't need a fucking police car to pull up on me every other fucking day and ask me what's wrong and am I okay when they're not gonna do anything to help me on any level of personal level. The only thing that they're doing is what they were taught to do. Make sure there's no homeless people around because it looks bad for the school. They don't give a damn about me as a person. The GI Bill gives this school $70,000 a year. $70,000 for my tuition so that I can attend class. And they have zero responsibility to make sure that I graduate. Zero responsibility to make sure that I graduate. I had sex with one girl for 2 months. She knowingly and deliberately wanted to get pregnant so she could put me on child support for 18 years of my life. And not 1 second of any of that is any level of accountability her fault. None of it. And this video isn't about me complaining about basic adversities of life. Shit happens. This video, as a host of my 2 cents, is to put in perspective the matter of the fact that the adversities of this world are designed, engineered, and constructed and fabricated to hold us all back on an individual level so a few people can profit from it. Just so a few people can profit from it. If I don't graduate from school, nobody's gonna fucking care. No one's gonna fucking care. It's gonna be Paul's fault because Paul didn't do enough. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Blah, 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 blah. Why the fuck do I have police officers coming to me every other day with their lights and their weapons, questioning, harassing an African American in the parking lot at a school, in a world where African American men are being murdered all the goddamn time in America for no fucking reason? For no fucking reason. They don't need a justification. If I died tomorrow in this parking lot, everybody will automatically assume that I did something wrong. He must have been having sex. He must have been smoking crack. He must have been doing something illegal. There was some reason or some failing or some fault that he made that got him where he's at. And that's why he's dead. But the sad reality is that the police are the same goddamn humans that they police. Our governors are no different than who we are. So our capacity to make mistakes and be in error and not take accountability and not take responsibility is the same energy that governs the people in those police cars that drive down the street and don't do their fucking job. The same fucking workers at McDonald's that wouldn't listen to me when I said, put fries down, are the same police officers that have been told by their boss to do some fucked up ass shit on the job, and they listen and being compliant. So when you wonder why African Americans come up dead, that's the reason why. Because you got some asshole doing their fucking job the way that they were told to do it, understanding that the fundamentals of my job requires me to be racist as fuck. And if I want to put food on my table, I have to do what my boss tells me to do. And my boss is the fucking racist, or my boss is the fucking asshole. But I still got to be in compliance so that I can function in society, so that I can make it every day and be able to achieve the goal that I have in my life, which is to make not a fucking enough. Not a fucking enough. And how many people in general have to die every goddamn day in this world so that everybody else can make not a fucking enough? When did not enough become the currency of life? When did our economic system fall so goddamn far from grace that you murder people now and you don't even get anything for it? I don't justify anything. But if you're gonna, on basics, moralities, and ethics, like I always say in this goddamn channel, if the fundamentals of your ethics and morality system and your value system has you put in position to where you need prosperity for yourself at the sacrifice of somebody else, why the fuck do you have to kill somebody to have less than what you started with? Why do you have to prostitute yourself to have less tomorrow than you had yesterday? And at what point in this world are we as individuals going to say, that's not sufficient for what I'm trying to do for myself? If you want me to fuck him over, I should at least get what I want out of life. If you want me to take advantage and disrespect and oppress the rest of the world, can I at least get what I want? I went into the military for 6 fucking years. All I wanted to do was go to schools and design video games and produce comic books. And this whole fucking world looks at my skin complexion and has a problem with me. I'm sitting in this goddamn school every day learning to get a job in a world that doesn't fucking care about me. I sit in class and pretend like, yeah, when I graduate, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be able to go get a job working for a firm that's going to teach me all the things I need to know to design video games so that I can provide a good living for myself. That's the real bullshit. That's the real bullshit. Because it doesn't matter what an African-American man does in this country. We are supposed to be the fucking slaves. We are supposed to be chattel property doing all the remedial manual labor bullshit so that white people don't have to do shit. So they don't have to do a fucking thing. The only thing they have to do is make sure that Paul Emerson is doing what the fuck they don't want to do. So they can sit around and not do shit with themselves. And that's the fundamentals of this world. And when you're under the age of 18 and 21 and you've spent your entire life being told what the fuck to do by your parents, and you come out in this fucked up ass world and you have spent your whole life being taught to do the right fucking thing, pay attention, be obedient, follow the rules, obey the laws, and you do that shit and it works against you negatively, and then you wind up a fucking felon or worse, and you have a negative reputation and you can't get any fucking where in life, and you're sitting there still in compliance to a broken ass system. And then people were like, I don't understand why the youth don't want this. I don't understand why the world doesn't. You have the answers right in front of you. You have the answers right in front of you. And it's not hard. I don't understand why men don't want to date women anymore. Because you're fucking us over. It's not hard. It's not hard to understand that if I give you $5 because I'm being kind and respectful, I'm not fucking thirsty. I'm not fucking thirsty just because I say hi. I'm not a monster just because I'm walking down the street. My existence isn't the problem. My fundamental existence in life is not the fucking problem. Your capacity and inability to function at any level of decency is the problem. You know, this is going to be a rant, right? Because usually what I do is I just get up, get dressed, go put on my running shoes, run for 3 fucking miles like a retard, and then come back and chill the fuck out and continue my day. And people message me and be like, I don't understand why you're doing that. Because when you understand the nature of reality and you see that people are just going through the motions and can't really conceptualize why there's the adversities that it's like we have evolved as human beings to problem solve, and you have the problems and you can solve the problems, but you've allowed yourself to be conditioned from youth to identify problems, try to figure out why it's your fault, not take accountability for any of that energy, and then just complain about the fact that you see this adversity in front of you and you have been conditioned not to do anything about it. So the goal is to make sure that, hey, are you seeing this problem over here? Yeah, I see this problem over here. Can we both agree that that's not a problem so that we can just continue to be complacent in the world and not have to really do any extra? Like, if we could just both accept the fact that we don't see this over here, then that's less stuff that we have to deal with. And that's the world we live in. Now, back to what I was trying to say. I seen a video where Trevor Noah, the famous comedian, took over the Daily Show from Jon Stewart. He came on the air and he was like, yeah, I was diagnosed with autism, right? And this is the thing that irritates the hell out of me, right? Trevor Noah is basically on national television saying that he is mentally ill, that he has this issue. And then he goes on to say, I think that most comedians or most people like myself are struggling with this type of energy because, no, not autism, I think ADHD. And that, it's kind of like the space that we're in we benefit from this issue, or we benefit from this condition, and it goes undiagnosed and unaddressed. I want to just say something real simple. There's nothing fucking wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. The vast majority, okay, to make the point with Trevor Noah, if your goal is supposed to be to go to school, become intelligent, become wise, become successful in life, um, and then that's supposed to be the goal of prosperity, right? Trevor Noah was born in Africa. He overcame the apartheid. He loves his mother. He dealt with institutional racism in Africa. He came to America. He dealt with institutional racism in America. He became the host of The Daily Show, which is supposed to be the highest achievement, right? And then now all of a sudden, he has to be ADHD, and Jon Stewart comes back and takes over. What basically happened is, not being an American citizen, his perspective of the adversities of the world from an international from an international awareness doesn't align with what the Daily Show wants. It's the same thing with Dave Chappelle. It's okay for you to teach. See, the reason that they have these individuals in this position is because you're not trying to stop people from being who they are. You're trying to get people to understand that it's normal. If you could just normalize the idea that it's okay for, if a racist ass police officer pulls up on me and murders me, Trevor Noah is just gonna do a 30-minute skit, and then they'll do an investigation to show all of the bullshit that I did. But guess what? There is no fucking bullshit. That's why my car's still there. Because I spent my whole life doing what I'm supposed to do as an American citizen. And the only thing that happens in my world is that there are layers of bullshit. And when I hit the fucking ceiling of what I'm not going to tolerate, malicious compliance from above forces me to stay where I have been designed by society to stay at. And I fucking refuse. I'm not going to do anything illegal. I'm not going to do anything immoral. And I'm not going to do anything unethical. But I won't just be a piece of shit Uncle Tom servant to a fucked up ass society. Like, I'm just not. And that's the bottom line. There's nothing fucking wrong with you on an individual level. You're not a crazy person. You're not wrong. Like, your eyes work. You see bullshit. If you can see bullshit in front of you, and you can look to your left and to your right without even knowing these individuals next to you, and they're aware of the same fucking bullshit that you're aware of, you're not the fucking problem. If you go to work and you're like, I don't understand why Terrence is doing this or saying this, and your boss is like, I understand what you're saying about Terrence, but you have to understand. No, you don't have to understand anything. Malicious compliance. You have to just remove yourself from that bullshit. Step back from that bullshit so that you can take, if there's 1,000, I'm trying to just keep this shit as simple as plain as possible. If there's 1,000 people on the line and they're all staring at bullshit and they're like, no, I'm not about to be about that bullshit. And the other people around them are like, but this is the bullshit. Like, this is what we do. You have to just take a step back from that fucking line with all those fucked up ass people that won't acknowledge the fact that that shit is not right. And if we all fucking did that, there'd be another fucking line of your allies that will be clearly visible to you on both sides. And then you will be able to say, okay, I'm not the only person that sees this bullshit. But when you toe that fucking line and you stay there, like, yeah, I'm going to just, soldier through this shit. And that's what you do. You soldier through it. And then guess what? When you take a step forward and you have crossed that line of immoral, unethical, and devalued, now you can't fucking say anything. You know why my car is sitting there and I'm making this video at Full Sail University in the parking lot at 6 o'clock in the morning? Because when I was in the military, I put my fucking foot down. Put it fucking down. They did everything that they could do, every fucking possible thing they could do to destroy my life. They tried that shit. And when it came down to the final battle of me fucking shit up politically and going in there and operating at the highest level of who the fuck I am when it comes to being an individual, you know what I fucking realized? Because I'm not the fucking psychopath that people want me to be. I realized that you really believe that you're gonna file some fucking paperwork, and in this institution that literally murders people, they're gonna listen to you. You really believe that. You really have allowed yourself to believe so high in your own fucking arrogance and your own ego and your own bullshit that if you keep playing their fucking game, that eventually on the other side of these fucking rules that they write is your salvation. You really honestly, that, my friend, is the definition of psychotic. That, my friend, is the definition of stupidity. And that's why you have to be humble. You have to understand what it is that you're trying to achieve, and you have to be willing to do what is necessary. And my livelihood depended on my ability to be in the military. My livelihood depended on my ability to function as a soldier and interact with people around me and be able to actually achieve the goals and objectives that I set for myself. But the truth is that I started my 2 cents before I ever went into the military because I don't like the bullshit that I see every fucking day. And I didn't want to be in the military, but I didn't have any other alternative. Because you can see my fucking other alternative right fucking now. You can see the other alternative. System is trying to force me to be what the fuck it wants me to be. And you know why I'm in this parking lot sleeping in my goddamn car? Because I married a Nigerian woman on the other side of the fucking planet. And she still, from the other side of the goddamn planet, chose to be a black fucking woman. So there's no question, no fucking question about what's really happening on this planet. There's no fucking question. You don't have to have the answer to the fucking test and question yourself and doubt yourself about the answer every day. We know the world's not right. We know things are fucked up. We have all been accused and held accountable for things that we didn't do. And we have all done things that we knew we wasn't supposed to do and didn't get punished or reprimanded for it. And that is the core foundation of corrupting you into Christianity and teaching you that God loves you. Jesus loves you. Because if you go out and smoke some crack and feel good about yourself, then when you come home, only person that knows you did it was Jesus. No, you fucking know what you did too. You're fully aware of the bullshit that you bring to the fucking table. You're fully aware. Do I have a problem with the police coming here with their lights and their sirens and questioning me? No, I don't. I don't fucking care. The problem I have is pretending like you care about my situation so that you can get close enough to justify your corrupted ass lies and deceptions. You're not going to sit in the fucking parking lot for 2.5 hours and watch me to figure out what lie is going to stick the best when you get out of your car and you confront me and you try to murder me. Like that shit's not going to fly in 2024 with me. Because I didn't go into the military for 6 fucking years to come back to the bullshit that I left to still be afraid of that shit. I'm not a 19-year-old black kid walking down the streets of Detroit anymore. You're not going to jump out your fucking car, flash your badge and your guns, and try to tell me that I did some shit wrong. Who the fuck? How is walking down the street illegal? And more than that, no one's going to fucking try to convince me that I have a problem because of the experiences that I had growing up in this country. Because again, I'm not the fucking problem. It was bullshit. It is 150% illegal to jump out of your vehicle and harass a 16, 17, 18, or 19-year-old kid without justification or provocation when you are a police officer. But when you know that you can do that shit, and you know no one's going to say anything, and you know that society doesn't listen to the kids, we don't listen to the youth, you're no better than the same fucking bullies that those individuals have to deal with inside their goddamn school. And you set the precedent for them to realize, oh, if this person in the school is bullying me, and these police officers that are jumping out their car at me, scaring me and harassing me for no fucking reason, are also bullying me, then I know where my place is in the world as a victim. And when you're not really ready for life and you don't really understand what you're supposed to be doing, you're just going to fall into compliance. And then 19 becomes 20, and 20 becomes 21, and 21 becomes 22. And before you know it, you're in your 40s and you're still a fucking coward because you spent your whole life being in compliance to other people's bullshit. Because the moment that that 19-year-old steps out and says, fuck you, I'm an American citizen, I have rights, I don't appreciate the way you're treating me, that's when the police officer pulls the guns out and starts murdering us. Because we have to be kept in a state of going back to the fucking plantation. We have to be kept in that state. And the only thing that we do, the ones of us that actually survive and know that they used to have the same thing happen to them, is we think to ourselves, he knows the way the rules are. He knows how the game is supposed to be played. Why didn't he stay on the fucking line? Why did he take a step back? Everybody knows that you don't take a step back from the line. You just do what they tell you to do and you keep moving forward. So you want me to just be invested in my own fucking failure in life. And you want me to take accountability for everybody else's bullshit. But you don't ever want me to stand up, be a fucking man, do what I'm supposed to do for myself, and receive the type of compensation that I deserve. And when you look at the financial system of this world and you wonder why it doesn't work, that's the fundamental reason why. Because if I pay my fucking rent, I should be able to live in the house or in the apartment that I'm staying in. And if I do that for 20 or 30 fucking years of my life, nobody should have the right to take away my fucking livelihood the next fucking day. The next fucking day. If you do everything you're supposed to do every day in your life, that should come with some level of insurance that you're going to be okay for the rest of your life. But if you spend your whole life doing what you're supposed to do, and in a moment that you're not able to do that anymore, you find yourself destitute, the problem isn't you. The problem is the world, the system that you live in. And the biggest problem that we individually have in society is our inability to recognize the bullshit and how it's going to negatively affect us if we're in compliance to it. So therein lies the conflict. Therein lies the true problem. And I'm not going to keep doing things in a way that I know isn't going to work just to go along and get along in the world anymore. Just not. Just not. My goal is not to argue with the police. My goal is not to fight with the police. My goal is simply to design video games and produce comics. And I started my 2 cents because, like I said before, I feel like if everyone can see the problems in the world around them, why can't we all just work together to resolve the conflicts? And the fact of the matter is that the design of the world, the design of human society is built on values and principles of human psychology. And since they understand our psychology better than we understand our psychology, there's actually no way for us to not and to deal with this shit. Even in the school, we got to do a project, and one of the people in our group don't want to fucking be in compliance. He don't want to be in compliance. What is he doing? He's laughing and joking and hanging out with the professor, and he's making it seem like we're the problem. We're the problem. It's not that the other group members we're not doing enough, and so we don't get 100%. We passed, but we didn't get 100 because we were great on our ability to work together. But if you can take an honest, decent, kind person and agree this person doesn't fit in our bullshit and then get rid of them, then you should also be able to take a group of honest, decent, kind people and see there's one person that don't fit into their honest, decent, and kindness and get rid of him. But somewhere the world has gotten skewed so that if you're corrupt, you make it. And if you're not corrupt, you're pushed out so that they can keep making it. For some reason, that is the energy of the world. Even though we've been taught the principles of right and wrong, true and false, good and evil, we still fall into this pattern of bad people have better qualities of life than good people in this world. And I don't understand why. I don't get it. But I digress. I'm making this video simply to put in perspective what is to answer the goddamn question. Paul, why do you keep having police coming over harassing you, and why do you keep live streaming it? The answer to that question is simple. I'm attending Full Sail University and I'm homeless. The school makes a lot of money off of me. So I have the right to stay in the parking lot. But because they can't see past their normal bullshit, they don't want a homeless person living in the school parking lot. And even though I keep telling them every fucking day that I am a veteran and I am a American citizen and I am a full self student, they still come here every fucking day with their lights and their sirens and harass the fuck out of me. And this is the problem that we don't understand in this world. If the police come here every goddamn day and pull up on me with their lights and shit on, it becomes normalized to everybody else in the fucking parking lot. So then one day they're gonna be like, yeah, the police are always over there harassing him. I don't know, he must have did something really bad if they came over here every day and was harassing him. Specifically, what did he do bad? It must have been something terrible if they shot him and murdered him in the parking lot of the school. It must have been horrible. He must have been doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. Like what? Like going to school and making a grade, working at Arby's, trying to provide for his wife. What specifically is he doing? He's not breaking into your house trying to steal your shit so he can get a place. He's not actively engaged in doing any type of drugs and pretending like he could just escape reality. I'm simply in the parking lot doing what I need to do at the level that I have to do it at, because none of the shit that exists was created by me. None of it was created by me. I make $2,500 a month off the GI Bill to go to school. If I would have went to school in Michigan, I would have made $700 a month. School gives me $2,000. I get $2,500 from the veteran, not the school. Let's get this clear. School doesn't give me money to be able to attend. The school has zero accountability for my success or failure. The only thing they do is get a check. They are not invested in me individually in my success. That's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. When you see all these commercials about, yeah, come to Full Sail and do this and do that, you need to realize that if you have a house, I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Me living in this car. First month's rent security deposit is $2,000. School gives me, I get from the VA, I get $2,500 a month in VA benefits, right? My rent is $2,000. That means that if I wasn't living in my car, I would only have $1,500 a month to function off of, right? Since I'm living in my car, I have all of the money to manage to do the things I need to do for myself, which is primarily get out of fucking debt, because my Nigerian wife made things more difficult than they need to be. And I don't care if you're upset, because like I said, everything that you and I had discussed before we got married was put on the table. And your inability to understand or listen to me and just believe that I'm just a fucking retard and stupid, and you wanted to entertain the actual values that was given to you by society instead of recognizing the person in front of you. That's not my fault. But I digress. If first month's rent security deposit is $2,000 for the first month, and then $1,000 every month after that, if I charge $1,000 a month for rent and I have one tenant, that tenant is going to give me $1,000 a month. So I'm going to make $12,000 at the end of the year. If first month's rent and security deposit is $2,000, then in that first initial month, I can make $2,000. If hypothetically, and this is basic economics, if hypothetically I could get a tenant to move in and move out every month, I can make $2,000 a month for $1,000 unit. What do I have to report to the IRS that my earnings was in this situation? $1,000 fucking. First month's rent security deposit does not have to be accounted for in my books when I tell the government how much money I'm making, as long as I can show that I had someone staying in the apartment and that rent is $1,000. Okay? It's basic fundamentals. Basic fundamentals. If you have an apartment that you rent for $1,000 a month and you have somebody move in on January 1st and they give you $2,000, and then $1,000 every other month after that, you will make $13,000. No, I'm sorry. No, that's correct. $13,000 at the end of the year, right? Right. If that person, if you have 6 people move in every month for 6 months, and you have 6 people leave for 6 months, then you have to take 2,000 times 6, which gives you 12,000, because they pay you first month's rent, security deposit, 12,000, and then the other 6 months, 6,000. You add those together, you get $18,000. So now you have $18,000 instead of $13,000. Who doesn't want an extra $5,000 a month? And the only thing you have to do is get that person out of the apartment and get a new person into the apartment, right? So understanding this, right? Understanding this basic principle, instead of using all the money I had to move into an apartment and then not necessarily be able to pay rent and your security deposit and then get paid late fees, which is a whole nother level of that whole equation, stay in my car. And it's expensive to live in my car, so the money that I'm making is being spent daily so that I can function. I have to shower, I need to pay for storage, I have other expenses. It's very expensive to be homeless in America, but I digress. So I'm in my car. What does this have to do with the school? When you start the school, it's the same flat values. Initial startup always makes you more money. So, does it make more sense for an institution like this one to let you stay in school every month and finish your degree program? Or is it better for them if you fail and the new person starts every month? New people are more valuable than long-term students. And that's what we see in society. We see it every day in society. Even a person that starts school and a person that starts school, drops out, goes back again later, and drops out and goes back again later, makes the educational institution more money than a person that would just go to school and complete their course and then be done with it and then come back. And that's the unfortunate reality of the world that we live in. And fundamentals, that's basically what my 2 cents is all about. Like, that's just how all of this works. And when you understand it and you see it, you have to either be in compliance or you have to step away and say, I will not be in compliance. But ultimately, if you live in a society and you function and govern yourself at the fundamental level of what you see, then you're in compliance. And you're just bullshitting yourself in any other way around that. And that's the problem. I'm not trying to destroy the world. I'm not trying to argue and fight with the police every fucking day. But I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I haven't watched the news and I haven't seen how acorns are falling out of a tree, hitting a car, and you got a police officer put on a fucking show shooting into the back of the truck. If the person in that car would have died, then there would have been no need to. It's just like the Trump shooter, right? Like, you killed. The president was trying to be assassinated. We're not even going to get into a debate on whether it was a setup or not. But let's just put in perspective in 2024. An individual was shooting at the president, and the only thing that you can do in response was kill this individual. But where's the justice? Where's the investigation? Where's the interrogation? The reason why they murdered the shooter was because if you murder the shooter, then a shooter doesn't get a chance to speak, right? Like, if I got murdered the other night when I had 5 police officers around me and I had my hands up and I got 3 squad cars, all lights blaring, and they're all trying to intimidate me, and I'm like, I'm not about to be being intimidated. Fuck you. Go the fuck away. Leave me the fuck alone. Then all you have is just a corpse. You just got a dead body and a bunch of lies. And we see it every day. It's not like we don't see it every day, but that's the way it works. The more you see it, the more you don't have to worry about it. No one's questioning why Trevor Noah just stepped down from the Daily Show, even though Dave Chappelle already explained that shit. You think there's no. That's the reason why my 2 cents is about empirical data, because you don't think there's a connection between Trevor Noah stepping down and then saying, yeah, I think I have ADHD, And Dave Chappelle saying I didn't accept the money that Central gave me for these reasons, right? Malicious compliance. I didn't accept the money for this for these reasons. And then you got Trevor Noah on the other side from another country that's literally just basically saying, without saying it, I don't want to be a part of the Daily Show no more because of racism. And then you have me saying it, and then you're like, oh, there's something wrong with you. You think everything's about racism. And I understand. But then as soon as you experience it in your life and you stood on the other side of the fence and said it doesn't exist, you put yourself in a situation where if you spend all of your time saying that it doesn't fucking exist, and then it happens to you. It's like, imagine a woman walking around saying rape is not possible. It doesn't exist. Men don't rape women. And in a minute that you get raped, as you have spent your whole life telling your circle that such a condition doesn't exist and is not possible, the moment that you try to explain to somebody what happened to you, no one's going to listen to you because you've already explained to them in excruciating detail how it doesn't fucking exist. So when someone is giving you an adversity that could potentially affect you, you should listen. When an older person and a more wiser person comes to you with information, it doesn't cost you anything to listen. I'm not saying that you should be complacent and that you should just do whatever the fuck people say, because that's counterproductive in life. You should know what it is that you're trying to achieve, and what someone tells you should alliance with that, and you should be able to use the principles of science and philosophy to recognize whether you're moving towards your goal or away from your goal. That's why I have a brand new car staying in a parking lot of Full Sail University at the age of 41. Because while it seems like I'm fucking homeless, the truth is that I have more freedom than I've ever had in this country because I'm doing exactly what I want with my life. I'm exactly where I knew I would be when I started this journey after I started paying child support. This is the actualization of the reality of the world that I lived in when I was 23 and 24 and 25, paying child support to my ex and not being allowed to be a father to my daughter. So I went from that to where I am now. And this is the actualization of enduring those 18 years. Child support's paid in full. No warrants, no bullshit. None of the shit that none of the stuff society typically wants to do has been achieved. Because I've learned the way that the system functions. And when I went into the military for 6 years, I got a master class in political bullshit. And when I came out of the military, I endured. I survived. There's nothing that you can fucking do. Nothing you can fucking say. You can't. I can't be touched. But the flip side of the same coin is, what's the point if you're gonna just continue to just do what you wasn't supposed to do anyway? Like, what is the goal of gaining knowledge and wisdom if you're gonna still be stupid? Right? If you make bad decisions because you don't have enough information, I can understand that. But if you continue to make bad decisions, even though you have the information, what was the point of getting the information? If imagine me spending the next 2 years going to school and learning to design video games, and then when I graduate, I don't design video games. Like, what was the point of going and learning the knowledge? Why did I get the skills? Why did I gain the experience? You know, I don't like that. None of that makes sense. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to do my run now. If you see a video of police officers and sirens and me screaming like a fucking retard, none of what you see is none of the surface of what you're seeing is relevant. You got to understand that I'm not allowed to be homeless and go to school because it sets the wrong precedent. See, you're supposed to go to school so that you won't be homeless, not be homeless and attend school. That's the conflict. That's the issue that they have, and the police come here as the plantation owners and the lords of the land to enforce social normality. We can't have people being homeless. We can't have people being openly homeless at the school, because we need to put on this illusion that this is the best place on earth and that this is the greatest thing that you can do in the world, and that all your problems and all your adversities can go away if you come here. That's what they're trying to sell. and I'm breaking that illusion, and they don't like it. But I spent 6 years in the army breaking their fucking illusions every fucking day. And if you think that I'm gonna, if you don't want to recognize that I didn't conform to the fucking army, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you, because I'm not in fucking compliance. I believe in doing the right thing for the right reasons, and that's just that. And I accept the fact that I like being a good person because it makes me feel good about who I am, and I don't apologize for that. Shouldn't have to. If you can run around and be a piece of shit because it makes you feel good about who you are, why can't you just do what's right and what's just and what's kind and what's respectful, and have other people benefit from it, and then still feel good about yourself? I don't understand. I mean, I didn't create the reality of the world. I'm not responsible for things being what they are, but I don't understand why I should have to justify my decision making. If you're okay with understanding why people do the wrong things in life, why do I have to defend and justify me doing the right things in life? And the answer is real simple. When you see me doing what I'm supposed to do, when you see me being obedient, it just reminds you that you're not obedient. When you see me doing what I'm supposed to do, it's it's a counterpoint on your belief that the reason why I'm a piece of shit is because all humans are pieces of shit, and that being a piece of shit is the only thing that we can be. But you have to recognize that society wants you to be a piece of shit so they can take away your rights. Like I said, I had 5 police officers all around me, 9 or 10 or 12 people, individual human beings, with armed weapons, with lights flashing in my eyes, screaming and yelling at me, trying to understand, why can't we kill this nigger? And the answer is simple. You can kill me, you just can't get away with it. You can definitely kill me, you're just not gonna get away with it. And that's the fundamentals. But on the flip side of that same point, I've never had a police officer pull up on me and not be a fucking police officer. I don't need you coming to my car, tapping on my window with your flashlight, using your fucking authoritative voice. Hey, what's going on? Can you step out the car? No, I can't step out the fucking car. Why do I have to step out the car? Oh, you need to check. You need to check what? What do you need to check? You don't need to check shit. I don't want to hear nothing you have to fucking say. If you're not bringing me a check of $3,000 so that you can help me get out of the parking lot in the school so I can get a place, I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. I don't need to hear anything you have to say. I don't need the distraction. Once you identify the adversities of your life, you come up with a solid plan. Don't let anybody fucking distract you. I know what I need to do. I make X amount of money. I need Y amount of money to get to. I need X amount of money. I need Z amount of money. I have X amount of money. I need to make Y amount of money. Once Y and Z are equal, then I have achieved the objective. And there are other variables, Q, W, S, 5, 7, 29, that affect the value of Z over time. And when you understand shit like that, then you can achieve your objectives in life. When you are in compliance to a system that wants you to fail, you're going to fucking fail. And if you don't have awareness as a sentient, sapient human being on this planet to recognize that I am not getting the energy that I'm investing in this is not getting me what I need to be the thing that I'm trying to be. If you're pushing on a fucking box and the box isn't moving and your goal is to move that box, how many years of pushing are you going to recognize that that's not working before you try something else? So in our governments, we keep running around doing the same thing with our governments and our political system, and it's not fucking working. You got to stop engaging in behavior that doesn't fucking work. You have to put your life on the line to achieve the things that you want, because holding your life hostage is how people control and manipulate you. And I promise you, on the other end of that bullshit is exactly what you want. All you have to do is say no. It's that simple. Just no. Telling somebody no will give you all the information you need to know about that person. Just no. Go away. I don't want that. Stop. Those words that we have been taught as children that we can't say are the fundamental principles of society. Because the minute that when a police officer comes over and says, "Are you okay?" and I say yes, and then they're like, "Do you need help?" and I say no. The moment that I say that, they have changed their status from police officer to harassing citizen. I'm okay, officer. I don't need your help. As soon as I say that, now they're fucking harassing me because I didn't ask you to come over. Where am I? Look at this big ass parking lot. Big ass fucking parking lot. I'm over here in the corner by myself near the exit so that you can leave me the fuck alone. You know why? Because I was in the military for 6 fucking years. I came here, I assessed the area, and then I found my exit and I set up my fucking camp because I learned some skills and now I'm applying them to my day-to-day life. Because that's what it literally means to be a human being. And that's just how this shit has to work. So the probability of me actually passing full sail, fairly low. Every month I get a little bit more confident that I can actually get through it. But it doesn't matter. Like, I'm doing exactly what it is I've always wanted to do. And in the process, society is like, no, we can't really have him doing that. Like, that's not how this is supposed to work. We have to force compliance back into the system. And these towels on this fucking car is literally just so that they will stop flashing their fucking lights at me. How am I supposed to study if I can't sleep? And how am I supposed to sleep if you're pulling up, flashing your lights at me? You want to park in front of me, point your car at me, flash your fucking lights. I don't have time for that shit. Like, I just don't. I don't need you to be engaged in a pattern of behavior that you've created for yourself. I'm not about to be part of that. I'm not about to be dealing with that bullshit. I didn't create the world and I won't be compliant to it. Well, not the broken part of it anyway.